Hey guys, what is up? Plastic Guy here, coming back with another figure review, where today we're taking a look at this X-Men movie Wolverine ToyBiz Marvel Legends figure. This is a figure I had back when I was like 4, 5, 6 years old, and I remember playing with them heavily. I loved this figure, but over the years, who knows what happened to him. He probably got broken, given away to charity. I mean, he definitely got broken. I remember breaking him quite a bit. But I always told myself that I would pick him up again in the future, just because of the nostalgia and love that I had for this figure. But people were always trying to sell him for a bit over £20, which isn't a bad price, but personally I wasn't really wanting to pay too much. And then the other week, this guy in fantastic condition popped up on eBay for around £10, so I couldn't say no. He's finally arrived, so I want to take a closer look at him, but before we do guys, let me know down in the comment section below what your favourite X-Men movie is. For me, it has to be the second one. I feel like when I recently rewatched the trilogy, the second one still held up fairly well over the rest of them especially. But yeah, let me know down in the comment section below what your favourite is. X2 is mine. And while you're down there guys, if you could do me a massive favour, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And let's not wait any longer. Let's take a closer look at this Marvel Legends Wolverine. And so here is our ToyBiz Wolverine Marvel Legends movie figure as he's arrived from eBay. Didn't come with any accessories, but as I mentioned, he's in absolutely fantastic condition. So taking a closer look at this figure, we're gonna have to start with this figure's perhaps biggest flaw, this head sculpt. Oh man, I really wanted to come into this video and defend this head sculpt, but the more I've thought about it, there's just no way. I mean, look at it. It's unreal. This figure came out in 2003, I believe, and I kept telling myself, I was like, I mean, that was a long time ago. Figures have came a long way. You can't really blame it. But then look, when we put the 2003 Marvel Legends Blade next to this guy, what happened? This looks exactly like Wesley Snipes from that Blade film, and this looks just nothing like Hugh Jackman. It is crazy. The difference is night and day. But, oh well, of course we will take a closer look at some better Hugh Jackman head sculpts coming up, but yeah, when I was a kid, as I mentioned, I played with this figure all the time, and it didn't bother me. I never once thought, oh, that doesn't look like Wolverine from the movies. But as an adult collector now, yeah, this just looks nothing like Hugh Jackman. The facial expression is just awful in general. I mean, what expression is that? Is he angry, confused? Kinda looks like he just ripped a fart or something, like... Who knows? The facial hair as well. I don't have a clue what's going on. Then the hair, I don't know. Hair, the colour looks good, but these two wee points with the flat dome, I don't know, man. Like, they missed the mark with this one, and the back of the head looks alright actually, but yeah, the head sculpt isn't it. And as I said, as a kid, it wasn't a big deal, but now it's just so obvious. The thing is as well, like, they released another Wolverine movie figure that actually didn't look too bad. It looked definitely a lot more like Hugh Jackman and a bit less whatever this is, but yeah, they didn't do the best job in the head sculpt. Rest of the figure's unreal though. I really like this costume. The articulation looks really good, we'll look at that in a sec, but the actual sculpt seems spot on. I really like the X-Men costume, really like the colours they've used and all the detail they've put in here. It looks absolutely spot on, absolutely magnificent. Really like all the different detail that we can see here. It looks like all this is stitched in for real. I mean, can't complain about the body at all. We can see the arms here going all the way down, and well, we've got to the claws, so let's get to the next gripe. The claws just aren't that big, especially when we compare them to the newer Wolverine Marvel Legends. Size difference in those claws is insane, and it makes such a difference. Would maybe even be interested in modding this figure, removing these claws and putting some newer ones on. Yeah, I mean, they don't look too bad, and thankfully, as I've mentioned like so many times now, this figure's in good condition. The claws with these figures, I mean, a lot of the time they'll be missing or really badly warped, but on this guy, they're really nice and straight. The paint's held up really nicely, so I'm really happy with that. Back to the costume here, the other arm, there's just so many different bits of detail all over this guy. It is really such a nice piece. See the legs here. Awesome. The sculpted detail at the bottom of the legs look really good. See all the way up. But yeah, the rubber they've used on this is held up really nicely, and the sculpted detail they've put in all over just really pops everywhere. I really like that stitching going on throughout. The orange they've used, top notch from ToyBiz with this. Not so much with that. So to compare our ToyBiz Wolverine movie figure to some other figures, we have another ToyBiz Wolverine movie figure. This is the only other ToyBiz Wolverine that I have, just so happens to be a movie figure. I don't know if these were both released from the same film. One might be X-Men 2, one might be the first one. Really don't know. This guy's really heavily sculpted. I have actually looked at him in videos in the past. And once again, the head sculpt just isn't good at all. I would still take this head sculpt over this one, I think, but they're both just not great. They both don't look like Hugh Jackman. Yeah, pretty weak head sculpt from ToyBiz. Really like the civilian attire they've used. That was obviously what Wolverine was wearing in the film with this figure. It is a shame he's so heavily sculpted. Great looking sculpt on this guy. Really like the costume. Yeah, I guess they both just suffer from those head sculpts. And then we have our ToyBiz movie Wolverine next to our Hasbro movie Wolverine, both Marvel Legends, and this is probably the best example to see how far Marvel Legends has come, because when we compare these two head sculpts, wow, like this, mate, this looks like a Hot Toys compared to this guy. I mean, it's just crazy. This is just unreal. This is probably one of my favourite Marvel Legends head sculpts. It's up there with the Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man 2 pack, the Doctor Strange from No Way Home. Just the likeness to Hugh Jackman is 100%. It's absolutely spot on. I absolutely love this head sculpt. The facial hair looks good. The expression looks good. The hair looks on point. And yeah, that's what came before it. So great comparison. This came out in 2003. This came out 2 years ago? I'm not too sure now. And how high did my voice go there? But yeah, awesome figures. But this one's definitely the upgraded we want. And I would really like to see this head sculpt on this body. I'm not going to do it in this video, but I might try it out and put it on my Instagram, because I love this costume and I'd love to see a great Hugh Jackman head sculpt on it. So we'll try and run over all the articulation on this figure. We can get him looking about that far up, that far down, rotate that left and right. You could turn that all the way around. Get the arm moving about that far up, about that far into the body, backwards and forwards. He's got this upper bicep swivel here, no butterfly joints or anything. Double jointed elbows, we can rotate that in the forearm here. Get the wrist moving backwards and forwards, and the wrist doesn't rotate, but that forearm does. Yeah, that's that. Same articulation in this arm. There seems to be no articulation in the torso area. You can move that around very slightly, but yeah, I'm going to say there's none. We can move it around at the waist a wee bit. Get the leg kicking about that far forward, that far back, about that far out the way. Upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees. We can move it around at the calf. Get the foot moving backwards and forwards a wee bit. It is restricted by the leg there. Get ankle pivot and toe articulation. So the articulation is very good with this figure. And so there we have it for our ToyBiz Wolverine X-Men movie figure that came out in 2003, and we've came a long way since then, but it's so important to remember where we've came from, and this figure is for the most part a great piece. The articulation is great. That body is absolutely fantastic in my opinion. I really hope in the future we'll get a new Wolverine Marvel Legends with those great Hugh Jackman head sculpts but on an X-Men costume body. Who knows? I don't know why they didn't do it before, but maybe in the future. Of course, the biggest downfall with this figure is the head sculpt, but it doesn't put me off this piece. In fact, I kind of like how bad it is, and as I mentioned before, the nostalgia this piece has is through the roof. So I'm so happy to pick this guy up, especially for £10. And if you can get this figure for around that price mark, then I highly recommend it. Such a great piece, so nostalgic, such a timestamp in Marvel Legends history, in my opinion anyway, just with my love for the X-Men movies and then the Marvel Legends movie figures then and now. Yeah, I can't recommend this piece for the good things and the bad things enough. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Remember, let me know what your favourite X-Men film is. And while you're down there, guys, if you could do me a massive favour, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please stick around, hit that subscribe button. Feel free to hop on over to the channel page, check out any of my other videos. I have plenty of other Wolverine videos, a lot of different X-Men Marvel Legends and things, so yeah, feel free to check that out, and feel free to hop on over to my Instagram. I'll leave the link to that in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. As always, I'll catch yous on the flip-flop later. Cheers.